So I'm going to talk now about what you can do if you don't have a tent with you and maybe also don't have a sleeping bag with you and you want to sleep outside. So before you will consider all those options, make sure to have tried out all the other things I was just telling about in the whole guide. If none of this worked, then you can do the following. So you can, first of all, if you are in a city, before you try to find a place to stay outside, what I highly recommend you go from door to door, you go to those big apartment buildings that have like different stores, different like flats. You go to each of the doors and see if they're open. It usually works that you find an apartment building where the front door's open. You go in there, you go maybe to the highest floor of the staircase, and then you just sleep there. You put your sleeping bag there, or maybe you don't even need a sleeping bag, and then you just stay there. Next morning, wake up at 6 o'clock or maybe 5 o'clock, and then leave the building. Try to do this instead of just sleeping outside, because when you are like inside a building, you are protected from the rain and wind, and try not to just sleep outside like without having any roof above you. You can also try to go to the ATM machines of banks. They're sometimes open at night, those little rooms. In Spain, I was used to go in there and lock myself. You can actually lock yourself in some countries, or at least you could do it back in Spain 2 years ago. So do this. If it doesn't work, you can find where I would recommend you to go is going to construction sites in cities. Kind of crawl through like the fence and try to sleep there. The cool thing is that usually you don't have to walk far to find a construction site. Also, it most likely is protected from the rain, so that's a pretty cool place to stay. And also maybe, but since there's a fence around the construction site, probably nobody will see you if you hop through the fence or something. If you sleep somewhere there, probably nobody will find you. And highly recommend it. All the time, have a sleeping bag with you. It really helps you. In summertime, it works sometimes. So you just sleep outside. Seriously, like in Portugal, what I did once, I was just seriously just sleeping on the streets without a sleeping bag and having no roof, like no bridge, like nothing above me basically. And I could just basically sleep like this because it was warm. But then in winter time, it's almost impossible to survive the night if you don't have a sleeping bag. So always have it with you. So generally try to find a place that is hidden. So as I said, could be construction sites, could maybe also be in like a big park in a city. Try to find a hidden spot where you're surrounded by trees. Could be an option. You can find those kind of places at city centers, but you could also choose to take a bus, get to the outskirts, go to the next nearby forest. Then you're definitely more hidden from people. You probably will have an uninterrupted sleep there. Again, probably it won't be a good sleep. Have a clock with you so you wake up early in the morning. It's an experience. What you will experience if you go, for example, in the forest, you will just sleep there with a sleeping bag, is that it will be basically just an experience. Probably you don't want to do it again. It's also a big problem if you have a bag with you. Try to use it as a pillow so nobody steals it. But then again, if you're hidden, nobody will find you anyway. And also if it's cold, use all your clothes and put them on and try to stay warm like this. And if none of this works, the last option really, what you can do, what I did kind of before in my life, you just walk around, like seriously, instead of freezing to death basically, you choose to just walk around, keep yourself warm like this. You walk until like 6 a.m. in the morning when shops are opening, and then you go into a mall or something, and then you sit there and it's warm in there. That's how you can survive a night. Again, it's not really sleeping, it's surviving. The cool thing is it's for free. You can do it anywhere, just walking, but it can be really exhausting. But again, it's an option. We're almost before wrapping up the whole guide. But first, in the next lesson, I will teach you about mindsets and how they can help you to get a place to stay for free.